Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Arena, Russell, Aldicia. Oh, we have one more. Oh, Arena's still coming in. Hey, Russell, good to see you again. Wave if you can hear
Good
me.
morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Give Arena and Aldicia a minute to get in here. Russell, how was yesterday for you? Did you get a lot out of the day?
Yes, I did. And then I
Good.
had some computer challenges later in the day when I tried to join another session. So hopefully
That
everything's
happens.
back up. That happens, yes.
Good morning.
My favorite is always when Zoom decides to update just as I'm about to go into an important meeting. And whether that actually happens or that's just a convenient excuse, I guess it's sometimes 50-50. But
Yeah.
Arena, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I think she
Or-
just put good morning in the chat, so she's looks like she's there.
Great, good. So let's see, Katerina, there's a number of other people joining up. I'll keep an eye on the list and just let people come in. Okay, Katerina, hi. So we'll go ahead and get started here. You guys, welcome to day 2 of of ICF South Florida Charter Chapter's answer to International Coaching Week. The theme this year is Inspire, Transform, and Thrive. And today we're having the first of our 3 panel discussions. This one's on inspiration. Join us tomorrow morning at this exact same time when Nada will be doing Transform. Is that correct, Nada? Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., Nada will be exploring the topic of Transform.
Yeah, and on Thursday, Valeska will be doing Thrive.
That's correct. So we'll cover all 3 over the course of the week, and we set up these sessions to sort of explore these themes. ICF was so we're so thankful to ICF for sort of determining these themes, and we're going to give them the proper air that they need to just sort of explore them. So so I'm joined today by Shakti and Dorothy. And I would ask very quickly, since we have a small group, I would ask Shakti and Dorothy to please introduce themselves. And then I would like the rest of the people on the call as well, if we could just go very quickly and introduce ourselves. So often I think we as coaches can always use the practice saying what kind of coach we are and who we are. So I think introductions would be great. And if it's okay with everyone else, I'll go last. And I will just say before we get started, I want to give a special thanks to Nada, who was the project lead on this and put a tremendous amount of time, effort, energy, focus, ability, caring, and thoughtfulness into developing this entire programming calendar. So thank you, Nada, for that.
Thank you, Eric.
And then also to Shakti and Dorothy, who are both members of the of various committees here at ICF South Florida, and so I'll let them introduce themselves as well, and then we'll go around the room. So Shakti or Dorothy, either one of you want to kick us off?
Shakti? Sure, I'll start. I'm Shakti Radhikishan. I am a certified coach and member of ICF South Florida. As Eric just mentioned, I have been for about 4 years or now, something along that term. I am a life and leadership coach and relatively new to the coaching world, but finding my stride and excited to be part of this whole process, this whole experience here today. Thank you. And I'll hand it off to you, Dorothy.
Thank you, Shakti. My name is Dorothy Richardson, and I am a certified PCC coach. I have served on the board for 2 years. This year, I am VP of membership. I have also been part of our chapter since 2015. Great chapter. Love the people on our chapter. Experienced some great things. I am a leadership executive and mental health wellness coach. And that's a little bit about me. And
Nada, you want to go next, and then we'll pass it on down the line.
pass
Me.
it to me.
Yeah, go for
Hi,
it, Katerina.
I'm Caterina Capra. I am an MCC coach. I am an executive leadership and well-being coach. I am the head of well-being department in ICF South Florida. I'm happy to be here and happy to enjoy.
Great. Awesome, Katerina. Who's going next?
I can go.
All right. Go for it, Nada. Yeah, please.
Hi, I'm Nada. I'm located in Paris and I have been a coach for 5 years now. I'm a PCC and I help executive and no, sorry, I help people during their transitions, hard transitions. So I give support in those chaotic phases. So should I call someone or how does it work?
Yes. Sure, let's do that. Let's toss the ball. Toss the ball to
Okay.
someone.
So Russell.
Go.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Russell
Good morning.
Fitzpatrick. I spent most of my career in learning and development, and I was an internal coach for many years. And I left the corporate world last year, and I've written 2 books in the last year, and got my ACC. And I'm starting to work a lot with leaders who are dealing with AI. And I'm speaking tomorrow at one of our sessions tomorrow afternoon, if you guys have a chance to join. And my focus isn't on like how to deal with AI or what to do with AI, but it's more about how do we evolve the human in that human AI equation. Because it is a great opportunity for us as coaches to work with people who on the one side are afraid of AI, don't want to deal with it, but on the other side who are actually embracing it. And okay,
Sure.
what do you do now with that 8 hours extra you get a week? Do you just go golfing or watch YouTube videos, or do you take that as an opportunity to develop yourself? So I think there's a lot of really great angles for coaching. And pretty much all of the clients I work with are dealing with AI in some fashion, as everybody else is. So that's what I've been focusing on in the last couple of years.
That's very cool, Russell. Thank you. And you'll pass the ball to
Irina.
Hi, everyone. Very nice to see you. I know Dorothy, I know Eric. I met these beautiful people on the business show in Miami Beach. And I'm so happy that I'm here now with this professional and beautiful community. And this topic is like so close to me because I'm a motivational speaker. Yes, I inspire people. I try to use this tool, yes, in my coaching. I'm mostly a career coach, yes, like job career coach. I used to work in Toronto, yes, in nonprofit sector under the Ministry of Labor. So I just launched a lot of projects, yes, coaching projects, and had a great success, especially with the empowering women. Yes, it's like my favorite project. But I would like to say a huge thank you that I'm just here because actually Eric and Dorothy, they inspired me. So you can do it. So thank you so much, and just excited to hear interesting presentations. Thank you. Okay, I don't know.
I think Alicia.
I'm sorry about maybe I pronounce your name
It's
Aldesia.
Aldesia.
Aldesia. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Aldesia Matthews. I'm actually new to the coaching sector. I've been in operations for a very long time, and I am transitioning from being a director of a very large corporation to going into my own private practice to coach parents who are dealing with the same struggle that I've dealt with the past couple of years of raising children with ADHD. It's been a passion of mine because I struggle with it every single day. I have twins who have it, and then found out that I had it later on, got late diagnosis. So, that was a different chapter for me to understand what was going on with me and how to cope with my symptoms as well as, cope with their symptoms, and for the household as well. And my husband, who's OCD. So can you imagine 3 ADHD persons living with the OCD person? So after
Yeah.
this experience and all of that, and going back to school, I got my master's in psychology. I still felt like I was missing something, even though I was working in the mental health sector. I wanted to inspire and help more. My kids do homeschool. I meet a lot of parents all the time, and they complain about the same thing. So I just got the brilliant idea and decided to, what better to do than help others go through the same thing? Because I didn't have the help. I had to struggle and find out on my own. So here I am trying to learn as much as I can so I can inspire and help others.
Yeah. And I think that's very inspiring. I think all of us, sharing our tale of who we are, sort of who we were and how we sort of became coaches, I think is inspiring in itself, something for us to discover and play with a little bit more with our time today. So introductions wise, my name is Eric Goris. I've been on the board of ICF South Florida for a few years. That's where I know most of the other ICF South Florida board members from, obviously. I'm the vice president of communications and parenthetically marketing. But it's the communications that I care about, less so the marketing. So I'm a coach who works in private practice. I work with business owners, business leaders, people who are in their careers, trying to make businesses happen. And the focus of my practice is brand development. So I'm actually doing a presentation later this week about the importance of branding. But really my philosophy is that when we're running a business or a business unit and we really care about what our brand stands for and how we connect with the people who use our product or our services, that is not only sort of instrumental, but it's a shortcut to success. So instead of worrying about operations or finance or HR, when you work with me, we're most likely going to be talking about your brand story or developing brand affinity or connection with your customers or so on and so forth. So that's one half of my business. The other half of the things I do all day is trying to support other coaches like yourselves, coaches here at ICF South Florida, coaches out there in the wild who don't even realize that they're coaches yet, inspiring them, and then also bringing people just like Irina right into the fold. It's true. We met at the business show last week, and look, now here she is. So it works. The name of the game is inspiration. And because of that, I thought it would be fun for me to just drop my background and show you an inspiring view, which is this beautiful cafe here in Valencia, Spain. And now I'm really going head to head with Aldicia on who's got the best background, because I know you South Florida peeps are going to be voting for Aldicia. But I wanted to do something a little bit more inspiring and different. This is a panel discussion, and so I want to turn it around, and I want to turn my microphone off, and I want to hand it to Shakti or Dorothy whenever they're ready to speak, and then I would like Russell, Aldicia, Katerina, and Irina. I would like you guys to join in as well. There's someone in the waiting room. I'm going to let them in real quick. But inspiration, the word inspire, for me, it triggers so many. I'm going to give some starting points. What is inspiration? Is an interesting starting point. Is it an emotion? Is it a feeling? Is it an energy? That's an interesting starting point for me. This idea that inspiration is a two-part word, in and then spirit, right? Sort of joined together. That was brought up by Judy Shank, who's doing a presentation on poetry later tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern. I encourage you guys to join that if you can. Inspire, 3 o'clock. You're right, the time zones, they kill me. 3 o'clock today. Yeah, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock for me. So inspire, in spirit, right? The opposite of that, expire, something different, right? A little bit darker, but it really brings some other ideas. I'm curious about what inspiration is. And the thing that I'm really curious about is what happens when inspiration is absent? What happens when we don't find ourselves inspired? What happens when we're in a session and we don't feel inspired? What happens when we look at clients and we discover or we suspect that they're not inspired? And what tools and activities do we bring to that? And perhaps the most insidious thing, as I've been thinking about this, is what happens when we're surrounded by a group of people who are uninspired? And I find this to be something that whatever. Every once in a while, I'll find myself in a situation like that, and I wonder how to deal with it. So all these questions of sort of what inspiration is, what it comes from, what it means to have it, what it means not to have it, from a coaching perspective, feels like very fertile ground. Who would like to take it from here?
I'm happy to kick it off, Dorothy. Or
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Irina, would you like to?
Yeah, thank you. This is really close topic to me. Yeah? So I'd like to try to, add some words from me, because I use not only, because I'm a master degree of teaching, yes. And now I realize that teaching and, and coaching is different thing. But, when you coach people, yes, first of all, you inspire them. Yes, because this inspiration, this is the tool how you empower them to open themselves. Yes, themselves, not you. Yes, so they do their great job by themselves. So for me, it's like really important, like to use creative things. For me, it's the first is creativity. Yes, because when you are just inspire people, you need to be creative. Yes, you need to also show the empathy. Yes, the empathy is also important. Yes, in this part. So next, what is inspiration? It's like when you just inspire people. Yes, you use the different forms of inspiration. Yes, it could be creative, it could be emotional. Yes, because I mostly use, I think, emotional, because I try to, like, you see, speak loudly, just provoke that people just, make laugh and something like that. So spiritual and mental. Yes, this is for me like different forms I can use like during the inspirational session. So this is like my part. Sorry.
Yeah, great. Who else
I
has some thoughts on it?
what you just said really resonated in terms of, and I'll just start with what is inspiration, because when you asked that, I think it came up several times in the past week, this question. And for me, it's really an experience. It's an experience that you have that involves a holistic experience that involves your mental, your emotional, your physical, and your spiritual body. And it doesn't have to be all at once or all at the same time. But I think having a connection and an awareness of what is happening in those different parts of yourself is what, for me, is at the very heart and the base of inspiration. I think there's been, for me personally, there's always been a connection with parts of those, of some of those parts of myself, and maybe not enough awareness of all of it. So I noticed at some point several years ago that I had much more of a connection to the mental body and much more of an awareness and an inspiration coming from the mental body, and not so much from the emotional and or the physical, or even the spiritual. And so I've been really enjoying connecting the dots and seeing how all of this relates to who I am and my values, and tying all of that back in with inspiration to then figure out what I want to do with it. Because I think with inspiration also comes, and then what? Right? There's the inspiration, and then what? And so I don't know, I'll leave it at that. Dorothy, would you like to add something?
I'm actually listening to all of you guys, and I'm just having a physical inspiration myself. But how I find inspiration to me is it does deals with all the physical sense, smell things. My experience is the physical, the internal part. Just listening to, for example, Irina talk about her, inspiration is something that's very important to her. It did something to me. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. Looking at Eric's background, knowing he's in Spain, I'm like, wow, that's a place I need to go. I'm like, okay. So for me, it's a physical thing, and I sense it, and it makes me feel happy. It makes me feel joy. Eric also mentioned something. What happens when it's either still or it goes down? My experience of when I don't feel that inspiration is, in a way, some things stop for me, and I start to look for it and I can't find it. And I start to wonder and I start to think, okay, where's that nice feeling? Where's that thing that makes me feel joyous, energetic? I look for it, and sometimes you can't find it right away. And I notice the differences. So this topic here for me, it's very touching to the point where it makes me feel things. It makes me see things. It makes me think creatively in many ways. So who can I pass this on to?
I can. What is
Sure.
inspiration for me? For me, inspiration is connection. For me, inspiration is being wanted to be active. When I am inspired, I am more productive. I want to do more, and I want to connect with other people. How I felt it, well, it felt in my whole body. Is kind of relaxed, but at the same time, you know, with movement. What inspires me, I think my purpose is the one that's grounded me. Inspiration has been the connection why I am doing coaching, and it comes and goes. And when it goes, I just connect with, in my case, with my spiritual well-being. This is God. And when I'm doing coaching and my inspiration is not anymore, I have a window in front of my screen, and just I see the sky, and it gets immediate inspiration to me. And all this nature also is connected with everything that inspires me. So that's for me. If somebody wants to go next, I love that. Bye.
That's lovely, Katerina. Thank you. Who else would care to share thoughts on that? Russell?
Can I ask
Russell,
a
go for it.
question? Can I ask a question maybe to the group? Maybe Shakti, you defined inspiration sort of in a definition kind of way. I'm wondering where you think curiosity fits in there, because I didn't hear anybody say the word curiosity, and I don't know if is curiosity sort of a motivation for inspiration. I'm just trying to think about where curiosity might fit, because I think that's what drives people a lot is to be curious about things, and when people aren't curious anymore, then I think they get stuck. So I don't know if anybody knows how those two connect. I'm not sure.
I would agree 100%, Russell. I think curiosity for me is at the core of, and I think it ties a little bit with what if there is a lack of inspiration? What if you're surrounded, or what if you yourself
yes.
are not feeling inspired? I think for me, the inspiration always comes from the why. You know, and whether, you know, whatever connects with that, right? But so that's right. So I think for me, curiosity is huge in the process of the experience of inspiration.
Shakti, in Irina, I'm going to come to you in just a second, but I think Shakti, yes, absolutely, the why, and that's what we say, right? Like when there's a problem, often we say this as coaches, when there's a motivation problem, it usually means we're not connecting with the why, and that may very well be the same with inspiration as well. I'm going to pass it to Irina, but there's one thing I would like to invite us coaches on the call to consider, which is I want you to think about, before we go to Irina, formulate your thoughts. What is our responsibility as coaches? What is our responsibility to inspire our clients? Do we have that responsibility, or is that leading as opposed to letting the client lead? What is it that we as coaches are supposed to do when it comes to being inspiring, triggering inspiration? What is our responsibility as professionals? Something to think about. Irina, I'll pass it to you now.
Thank you. I would like to add about the curiosity, because I'm totally agree about that, because I work with the clients. I use the method of questions, deep questions, because this is the most important, that the questions just raise the energy. Yes. And the clients just feel something. Yes. And it depends what questions and what the topic. Yes. And if it's a life path, yes, life stories. So we need to try, like we are leaders, like the next questions you ask about what responsibilities, I think it's a leading. Why? Because the main idea for me, the coaching, this is the client. Yes, the person should everything open in himself or herself during the questions. Yes, because if the deepest questions, that helps to raise the energy, realize something, and this is the success story. Yes, because the client do all by himself, you know. So yeah, curiosity, this is like, I'm definitely agree with that. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Go ahead,
Dorothy,
Eric.
go ahead. No, go ahead, Dorothy, and then we'll take it to Katrina.
I think it's such an important thing that Russell brought up, because this inspiration, I think it makes people have that curiosity, that creativity, and certain things like that, and want to be more inspired because they want to learn more, especially when it comes to our clients. You know, we have to be curious. We have to see, what is it, where are they going to lead us? How is it that we're going to follow them? How is it that we get them to invoke more thought and be curious a little bit about certain situations. So, you know, that was a really good thing. I felt that Russell brought up, Shakti, Irina was talking about, and then even Eric, when you brought up, well, how do we deal with our clients on that level when it comes to curiosity?
Yeah, thank you for that. And hello to Jackie. Just wanted to acknowledge and say hi to Jackie. And then Katrina.
Yes, how I inspire clients. I believe inspiration is a positive emotion, and positive emotions can create from different sides. One, the environment, like the background of Eric, or other backgrounds that can the person or client see more, or own presence, us being grounded, and maybe even if we have a big smile or something like that, like can make these connections. And again, seeing them and highlight their own, what works well with them, putting them in a way that they are more expanding and creative, and of course curious. And when they are in this expansion, they can create, they can inspire. Inspiration, I believe, is really connected with creativity and curiosity, that someone asked about that here. And this is when we help them to co-create new things, new ideas, and discovering new things. So 3 things: environment or own presence, and communication, in bringing what works well for them, and connect dots, and a safe space for them, so that they can feel, we know that when people feel safe, they are more creative.
Thank you for that, Katerina. I think that's really important. We'll pass to Joanna here in a second, but a thought that came up for me was the idea of modeling. One of the things, I forget exactly which of the competencies it is, but we are supposed to model to our clients what a supporting environment looks like, so that they can see and they can pick up from us, this is what support feels like, this is what support is. And it occurs to me that we may also have the same opportunity to model what inspiration is in a way that our clients can pick up on that and take that as a lesson for them to discover. Joanna, I'll pass it.
Oh, you're on mute. Joanna, you're on mute.
Classic.
I lowered my hand. Okay. All right. And that is classic. That's me. As I'm listening to this discussion, I want to bring in meeting the client where they are and not trying to make them something else. Because creating a safe environment, if I'm trying to inspire my client, if I'm trying to make my client inspired, I'm implying that wherever they are is wrong. So it really is, if my client comes in like, hey, what do you want to get out of your coaching today? Oh, I really want to feel better about all of this. Great. And we start working on they feel better about all of this, but they're really, it's not the coach's job to make them something else. So my space, I feel like my space is to step back and go, I'm really sensing this today. What would be really supportive for you right now? And it's okay to be like this, right? Okay, you guys are coaches, you all get it. I just wanted to make sure it was spoken.
I think that's an excellent point. And first off, Joanna has clearly earned her MCC and knows exactly what MCC coaching is, because that's a very MCC view. And I think it's absolutely right. We're not here to presume that they need inspiration. We're not here to presume that they need anything. We're here to support them on what it is that they do need. So I think that's an extremely important part. And that's kind of where I was sort of headed with this. Like, do we have a responsibility? Yes, no, maybe, sometimes, depends. If they say we do, does it go to contracting? Oh my goodness.
I think it begins and ends with where the client is and what they want and I think it kind of begins and ends with what Joanna so beautifully said. So I think we also need to be careful about the assumptions we make about whether they are inspired or not, because my perspective on what inspiration looks like, right, somebody can be experiencing negative emotions. I don't even like the word negative in front of emotions, to be honest, but I really hate this idea of positive and negative emotions. So they can be experiencing emotions that are not welcomed for them in that moment, that somehow make them feel yucky. And at the same time, they are going through what they need to go through to find the inspiration that they need. So I think as our jobs as coaches is always to support them wherever they are and to notice what they need, but to not run ahead and start thinking about what do I think they need? Because as soon as I am thinking about what they need, I'm already on the wrong track. That's
And no, I think that's absolutely great. Nada, we're coming to you in just a second, but you know, it just goes to show how I failed by not getting someone on the call who is a so-called inspiration coach or a creativity coach, because I think it'd be interesting to have people who are specialized in that, you know, bring up their standpoint. Well, hey, I'm hired to be an inspiring coach. Okay, great. Maybe that's different. I don't know. We'll bring them on next year. Let's go. Nada had her hand up, so I want to pass it to Nada, and then we'll come to you, Katerina.
No, it was just related to when you said being responsible. I think this word not triggered me, but I mean, I felt it more like, okay, the responsibility to inspire, it's huge. Of course, we don't have the responsibility of anything because we want to give the client the autonomy, right? To have the ownership of what they want and how they want things to happen for them. So that's it. That's what I think. So it was more like how to rephrase this question by more like, okay, how do you help your client be inspired, maybe, or what is our role as coaches to inspire our clients? But to put it as we are responsible as coaches to inspire, it's a bit, I think, too. It's a big word. That's what I wanted to say. But
I think what Joanna said was really important. I think how we communicate and we phrase things and talk to our clients, you don't want to put it in a way that's pushing them in an area you know they're not at. Rephrasing it, like Joanna said, is important. Trying to have them find it for themselves, not you giving it to them. And just like you said, Nada, it's important to see how you communicate and you talk to them and see what they give you, you know, as clients.
Great. Who would like to continue on that one?
I think Katerina had her hand up. Do you want to?
Katerina, do you want to? Are we coming back to you?
Okay. Yes. I believe inspiration comes from the client, but all that a coach can do it for that is yes, the present, is yes, the authority, is yes, the way that you know, of course, the questions, and I will say also you can also ask what is working well with you, and he or she can say it's nothing. But then you put her brain or his brain to see that something good can happen in their environment or with him or her. Acknowledge that coaching is from burnout to thrive as a human being. We are not working with depression. So burnout is I can feel sad, but I have hope. And hope is a positive emotion. And what we do in coaching is working with hope. Or I believe that I love to work with hope, because if we don't have hope, how we can move one person to where the person is to where the person wants to be? It's everything about hope. And to be cherished is one thing. To bring hope is another thing. And I believe that, even though I have clients that I say, oh, what's working well, or what good news you have for me? And they say, oh, at the beginning, I was thinking, oh, what do you bring to me? And then I realized that, oh, yeah, it is not like tacky or something like that. I believe that, yes, negative emotions are harder and future oriented, and positive emotions are present and very, very soft. And on average, according to science, we need 3 to 5 positive emotions to be in balance with negative emotions. And when we are in coaching, we work with adults that want to move forward. And that has to be an stability in emotions, at least in a break even. So this is something that I believe and I want to add to this discussion.
And
Yeah, that's
Eric,
cool,
can
Katerina.
I just continue
Go ahead,
a little?
Dorothy.
Just
Yeah, Dorothy, and then
Katerina
we'll go
said-
to come to you.
Okay, what Katerina said is so important, especially when working with clients and mental wellness, mental health. Someone can be going through something, grief. Sometimes they just want someone there just to listen and work through it with them, not to push them, but just to be there. And they would pretty much work through it to hear them. And then sometimes that spurs on that inspiration to move on to something else. So just being there for your clients can be a really important thing that inspires them, get them to that stage, that level.
That's right. And then we can, you know, again, core competency is to notice energy shifts. So the idea of, you know, being alert to an inspiration, to Joanna's point, let's not provoke it or force it, certainly, but to see it and acknowledge it, I think certainly is within our realm of professionalism. Yeah. Irina?
Yes, thank you, Eric. So I would like to add to what Dorothy said about that we need to show the clients that empathy, yes, that we understand them, that they are not alone. This is the first moment that we need to start, yes, the coaching session. Because after that, they can trust you, yes? And once they trust you, they can tell you whatever they need to tell. And after that you heard, you understand with what you need to work. Yes, after that. So that's why I'm like very close to curiosity and the questions that we just mentioned in before, because using the inspiring questions, yes, anyway, everybody wants to find the best version of ourselves. Yes, everyone wants to be the best in their life. Yes. So when you ask the questions, what last time when you just, for example, have a success at work? When last time when you have, how you feel it? Tell me what feelings you have. So, and the client start feeling again this. And then you see, you can do it. So these feelings with you, it's not like another person. It's not with for example, in your husband or someone else. It's in you. So that's why we need to give the clients understand that everything inside, and they need to, this inspiration open that. Yes. So that's why sometimes I do meditation session, because speaking is good, communication is very good, but sometimes clients need practicing. So, and when I do meditation sessions with inspiration, when they can open their mind and space, yes, open the horizons, how they can create design. Yes, yesterday I was on the session, design thinking, very good one. How they can themselves design their future, and it could be happy. Yes, they could be happy because they designed this future. Nobody, just them. So, and this moment, you know, how to say, helps me to understand and to be responsible. This is very important, that they feel they are responsible for their future, happy future. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you. And as you can see, thank you, Irina. I raised my hand because I wanted to get in here, and I'll lower it. Guys, I want to do a time check. We're 45 minutes into this, okay, and we've got about 15 minutes left. There's a topic I'd like to introduce for the group to sort of consider, and also certainly I'd like to invite anyone who feels that they haven't had a chance to get some words in to please raise your hand and give us your thoughts, because we'd love to hear from each and every one of you. I'm curious to know, why do you suppose, group, why do you suppose that ICF Global picked Inspire to be a theme for us to be exploring?
You know, Eric, I think what's going on around in the world, things are different now for many places, many people. And going through that transformation of change, I feel that it was important for ICF Global to bring this theme as coaches to talk about it, explore with it, be creative with it, and see what comes from it. So I feel that this was something that I feel Global brought to where they want to have these conversations among us, and have the coaches talk with other coaches and even find ways creatively to work with their clients. With all the change in the world, I feel.
Yeah, it's important to remember that nothing that we do is in a vacuum, right? I mean, it's all related to everything else. Energy moves and transfers and bounces us all around. Yeah. Jackie?
Hi, everyone. I agree with that. I think that there's a lot of change, a lot of uncertainty. Certainly, things have gotten, especially in the United States with the political arena. I feel like as a coach, perhaps it's for us to re-inspire ourselves so that we can continue working with our clients and showing up and having the presence that they need from us. And so I think, like, personally, yes, I need to be inspired. I also think in response to the earlier question about, is it our job to inspire? I think no, I agree with what we've talked about, but I do think that's a byproduct if we're noticing what our client needs and we're asking questions that help them to be curious. And for me, a lot of it comes also with imagination, like helping them to imagine, possibilities. Like, I think the work we do inspires, but that's not our main goal. So.
Yes, imagining possibilities, enabling that. Yeah, creating the space for them to have their own, right? Irina?
Thank you. Eric, I would like to say that you with Dorothy, you did a great job about the inspiration, because you see, I'm example of that inspiration works. I'm here with you now. Yes, after the business show that you did a great job. So, and I would like to say after COVID, it's a lot of still happening. And you see how people, everything changing, still changing, it's ongoing. And when I speak with a client, I see that some client, they're struggling still because everything happened very fast, very changes, AI, so everything so fast. Some people fast react, some people can't. Some people stuck, so they don't know what to do. Some people even don't know what profession they want after that. So, so it's very different. And with this, actually, that inspiration, this ICF, the seminars that I have inspires me actually about knowledge, because for me, it's when I listen experience of other coaches, when I listen stories, different approaches, tools, this is like a great inspiration for me to, to see from the different point of view something, to open my mind, to be open, yes, to this world. So this is thank you so much for this, that you created that. This is really good. Thank you.
It was inspiring work down there at the business show, right? Dorothy and Joanna and all of us who were there, Shakti, sort of waving the ICF flag. I'm going to pass it to Joanna Davis next, but we did get a chance to introduce Joanna. Joanna's our VP of the programming committee, and she had a big hand in putting together all of our ICW week programming. So everyone, Joanna Davis. Joanna?
No, it was not as big a hand. I know where that all came from. I just lent some support here. The things that are coming up for me, and I'm presenting on Friday, and it's like I'm making notes for my presentation on Friday. So two questions came up, because if the answer to, why would ICF do this? When you ask the question, I'm like, oh, well, it's competency 2 and competency 3. because that's how my brain works. My brain literally works in the numbers. Competency 2 is all about taking care of the coach. How are you taking care of yourself? What are you doing to nurture yourself?
Very interesting.
How are you, what are you, because that was never in the competencies. You know, Irina, what you were talking about, you know, the meditation stuff, there used to be something in the competencies about supporting the client to do it now. And I once saved a client 3 months of his life because he said what he needed to do was go and do a silent retreat for 3 months in the Himalayas. If you're not familiar with the pronunciation, we pronounce it Himalayas. So I said to him, and what would that give you? What does that sound like? Competency 3, contracting, right? Okay, so your desire is to go spend 3 months in the Himalayas. What would that give you? And before we got off the coaching call, he'd had what he needed from the 3 months in the Himalayas. Simply by go. So to me, this is about, are we doing competency 2? Are we doing competency 3? Are we contracting with our clients, or are we trying to move our clients for them? Because whose responsibility is it to move the client?
Well, there's.
Mhm. Yeah.
They-
Class.
I mean, this is, you guys know this is what I do. Apologize, sort of. What is
No.
that? Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I'm not sorry.
Sorry, I am not sorry. But this is that thing of where are we? Who are we? How are we with the clients? And first, how are we with ourselves? Because if we're not with ourselves, if we're pushing ourselves, if we're, you know, holding our little baby feet to the fire is the way that I describe it, you know. And as my mentor told me in class after class after class, when the coach has an agenda, like I have to move my client, or I have to make my client inspired, or I have to make my client anything, then the coach has an agenda. When the coach has an agenda, we have 2 clients and no coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
really
now
well
I'll get
put,
off the soapbox.
No, I was gonna say that's really well put, Joanna. And it leads me to something that happened literally in the session that I had before doing this. I had a session earlier today, and I was thinking about, and what am I doing? I'm thinking about doing this. I'm not present with my client. I'm not there with my client. My client is droning on about the problems they're having at work, and I'm thinking about doing this, right? And it occurs to me, not only am I not present, but I'm also not inspired in this moment. So how do I get inspired? How do I take care of myself? How do I bring my energy back into this? And I'll tell you what my hack is for that is I drill into their eyes. I look at them deeply, and then the words start washing over me and what they're saying starts becoming present. And then that's how I get in there. That's how I return to a place where I can be there and be inspired. But Joanna, thank you for putting Comp 2, and particularly, you know, yeah, taking care of ourselves, right? Oxygen mask first, right here. Then let's go save the world, you know? Okay, I'll pass it to Katerina. You guys, very quickly, I threw a schedule of events, a flyer for the rest of the events in the chat, so that's there. Lots of cool stuff happening this week. I'll put the link in a second to all the calendar of events so you guys can sign up. I'm doing a presentation, plugging 12:30 Eastern time tomorrow. I'm doing a presentation on communities and the idea to explore the topic of how communities like this, communities like communities of faith, communities like labor unions, communities support each other. And we'll be playing with the question of how can we use communities or build communities in a way that support our clients in sort of a group coaching sort of construct. So that's tomorrow at 12:30. Yours truly presenting and facilitating. Katerina?
Yes, I'm going to try to be fast. I believe when everybody was talking about inspiration, it comes to my mind. Inspiration is, as we say, be with the client, see the client, hear the client, and when you do that, you give a sense of companionship, that he is being seen, that he is being connected, and when he feels that or she feels that, then we know that he begins to open up. And then for me, this could be inspiration or positive emotion, or you can name whatever we want. And then is when this person is going to have movement. And Dorothy says, in the grief, just to be in the grief, just to connect where the person is connecting, is respect of where the person is to understand that. And this understanding, I believe, is the open door to, I would say, to inspire, to be creative, to try to move forward, even in bad moments. Oh, somebody's seeing me. I have something.
That's excellent. Thank you for that. Again, Katerina, another great perspective. And Nada, we'll pass it to you.
Yeah, I'm listening to everyone and it's super inspiring, I have to say. And it just came to me that in French, inspire means inhale. And in French, inhale, so inspire, the word is inhale, but also inspirer, like to inspire someone, right? So I feel that there is a connection, like when you inhale, you're breathing. So there's the action of breathing. So like inspiration, it puts you in action. It gets you focused because you know where you're going, like you're inspired by something, you're driven. And breath give you this relaxing state, feeling like, I don't know. So I don't know if both are linked, but I mean, maybe reflect on that. So
I can relate with you, Nada. Speaking French also, just thinking of expirer.
Yeah, inspire, expire. So inhale, exhale. So I think they're related in a way, and that's why in French it has both significance.
Yeah, it's an extremely interesting word to contemplate. I mean, I feel that I'm fortunate to have wound up with Inspire, which is not to say that Valeska and Nada are going to be, but transform and thrive, those feel a little bit, to me, those feel a little bit sort of like well understood or easy to put into a sandbox and sort of discuss. Inspire, inspiration, aspiration, in spirit, expire. I mean, there's so much, this is such fertile ground to play with here. So I really think we were fortunate to be able to play with it. And I think it's really interesting. We have just 2 minutes left. Would anyone care to give us a few parting thoughts? I would just like to say thank you to everyone for being here, and thank you for hanging in there, and thank you for taking from this what you can. I hope it's been beneficial.
I would just like
any last thought?
Thank you, Eric and ICF South Florida, Nada, Joanna, everybody who's been involved in bringing this to life and bringing this topic and allowing us to all reflect on what inspiration means and how we experience it. I think the biggest thing that I am left with, as we've talked about inspiration for the past, I think, week now, is what does it mean to me? How do I make it come to life? How does it happen for me in different parts of my day, in different ways that I might be feeling, whatever is happening for me? How does inspiration happen? Because it's always there. And noticing when it's inspiration and when it's maybe influence, which to me is not the same thing. So it's just, kind of just having that awareness. These are such important things for us to keep in mind as coaches, clients, human beings, whatever.
Yeah, and I'm going to piggyback right on top of that, Shakti. Thank you for that. Dorothy, I'm going to hand it to you. But I think this is a perfect example of, again, bringing it back to me because, right, it's all about me. I could have very easily done this in my little office, in my little second bedroom, in my little European apartment. But I mean, really, this goes to show that we can choose to change our environments or to make decisions about who we are and the way we execute and live in the world and find inspiration in that. Katerina is out on a walk. And I think that's very inspiring. And for me, I'm alone here in Spain for this week as my partner's traveling in California. So I needed to get out. I needed to be inspired. I needed to be part of the world and be out here breathing fresh air. So just a reminder that we can take control of our own inspiration and let the world inspire us. Any other thoughts?
Eric, thank you for making me very jealous of your background. I love it. I think
it's great. That's great.
Before everybody leaves, just because I just shared with you a link for the survey for this session. If you could fill it
Great.
out before you step out, it would be great.
Awesome.
That
And
would
I
be-
do want to let everyone know if you're invited tonight, if you'd like to come network on the mixer, it's great. Sorry, Nada and Eric, it'll be 3, 4 in the morning for you, but you're invited also.
Yeah, that's the virtual cocktail hour.
Yes,
Dorothy?
it is.
Yes, you guys, a great
We
opportunity
had
to sort
fun
of wind
last
down.
night.
Yeah, I bet it was great opportunity to wind down and just sort of spend the day talking about what we learned, what we saw, what we heard, what we think. So, Dorothy, are you hosting that tonight?
Yeah, actually, it is my membership member, Ibrahim. I will be on there.
Oh,
We
right.
will make it fun. We had a ball last night, but I want to invite everyone else. If you'd like to meet some other coaches and just talk,
Yes.
it's a great place to do that. And you can leave at the time you feel, so it's okay. It's not a set 1 hour. We got
Great.
tired after 45 minutes. So.
Well, it's a long day.
Yeah.
So I think this probably concludes it, you guys, unless there's any passing thoughts or last thoughts. Shakti and Dorothy, thank you so much for being here and being my co-panelist. Nada, thank you for being the host. Joanna, thanks for being on the committee. And thanks to all of you for showing up. I really appreciate your thoughts today. And I really felt like we got somewhere with this. So I think that's really fantastic. So thank you all. And ICFSouthFlorida.org. That's where you can find the calendar of events for the rest of the stuff we have this week. I hope to see all of you on some other events. Thank you. And I guess bye for now.
Thank you, Eric.
Ciao.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.